I'm going on. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion.
welcome to UCM Esports 2 because we are on the second channel. We do have a R6, so Rainbow Six Siege tournament playoff game specifically going on over on the first channel. But if you are here for League of Legends. And our team is currently, I believe, 3-0. We played 3 in this tournament so far.
That sounds right. We've won every single win we've done so far, so we're on a perfect streak right now.
Yeah. And last week we did play against Spell Thieves, and the first game was kind of a stomp, but the second game was an absolute 55-minute banger.
And I can highlight that match at the very beginning, Trey, of us just making fun of their team comp, saying this is not a team you would go for. UCM should be able to win this completely fine, and then just bringing it to 55 minutes, which isn't meta. In this comp, like games last 25 to 35 minutes. Yeah. Maybe you get a 40. You don't go 55 minutes no more. That's insane.
That is absolutely insane. But I definitely enjoyed casting that. Both teams played very well. But in the end, of course, UCM came out on top. This week we are going up against Epsilon, so we're anxious to see how that one is going to go. Hopefully that UCM can go ahead and make it 4-0 on the tournament. They're playing very well at the moment. But in the meantime, we do want to remind you guys that the application to join UCM Esports is on our social medias there. Josh, go ahead and give them the whole spiel.
Yes, if you're a fan of Overwatch, Rocket League, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rainbow Six Siege, and NBA 2K, and you're an incoming student for UCM, this is your perfect chance to sign up and be a part of our team. Obviously, we're going to have some people leave. We need some spots to fill those positions. You have until April 30th at midnight to turn in your application to be considered for a starting point. And then if you're feeling really spicy and want to try and convince our man to bring in a new game to the scene, that's on you. But still, if you wanted your chance to be on the esports team, get it in before April 30th.
Yes, get that in before April 30th if you do want to be on there. But in the meantime, we also have a graduate assistant position open for UCM Esports. So if you want to join in on that or maybe participate in that, you do get a stipend and you do get a bit of tuition for that. You can find that on UCM Jobs, or you can go to UCM Esports social medias on various forums like Facebook and Instagram and things like that to go ahead and see the application for that graduate assistant program. So if you're going for like a master's or anything like that, that could be the position for you. If you
like video games
and want to coach or do anything like that, be around them, then that should be the position for you.
With that, Trey, I think we should go into our Culver's lineup for tonight. Our Culver's lineup, we have 8-Bit Hypocrite in the top lane. We have IP Slow in the jungle. We got Flygills in the mid lane, VTech, the newcomer, in the bot lane ADC position. And we also have Fernlander in the support position. Like we just said earlier, UCM is on a perfect streak right now, and the momentum is high. They want to keep the streak continuing. They want to see what new heights they can bring to UCM League of Legends. They were out for so long. They're here to show that they mean business now.
They do mean business, and I'm anxious to see if Epsilon goes ahead and throws 2 bans towards the jungle. Dominic has only played Hecarim and Mundo throughout the entirety of this tournament, so I really want to see how deep his champion pool is, and to see if Epsilon wants to see how deep his champion pool is. So I'm anxious about that, and we'll see what's going on. But in the meantime, we are going to take a short break before we get into the pick and ban phase. So stick around, guys.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mason, and I'll be going over the basics of the game before we begin. League of Legends is a MOBA, a multiplayer online battle arena. The game consists of 2 teams of 5 players, who will choose their champions to play as, each with their own special set of abilities. Each player has a specific role to fill in a certain area of the map, called lanes. Top lane usually consists of tanks and bruisers, characters that can take a lot of hits. Mid lane is usually for mages and assassins, who deal a lot of damage in a small amount of time. Bot lane has 2 players in it for each team, the AD carry and support. The ADC is someone that does a lot of damage from a long distance, and the support stays with them in order to keep them protected. Finally, the jungler has no set lane. They roam around in between the lanes in an area known as the jungle, killing monsters and jumping in to attack whatever lane needs help, an action known as ganking. The objective of the game is to push each lane forward, killing minions and destroying turrets that protect the enemy. Killing other players rewards gold, which can buy items and make your characters more powerful. The game ends when one team pushes all the way into the opponent's base, destroying this structure, called the Nexus, and winning the game.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
The Office or Parks and Rec?
My girlfriend just actually got me into The Office, so I'm gonna say The Office.
Oh man, but you've already seen Parks and Rec.
No.
Oh, okay, well, that explains it. Doesn't you be like, man, I want to nerf this.
Probably Aatrox.
Aatrox. He gets quite a few nerfs.
Yeah,
All right.
they need to keep coming.
Yeah. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
For League or?
Just in general or league? Best piece of advice?
Well, I'm a very anxious person, so when a very close friend of mine just told me, like, hey, if you're, like, having anxiety, like, getting up in front of people, like, to talk or something like that, just know that no one really cares.
I'm going in. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall. From a quarter mile, I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. I'm going in.
Hello, and we are into the pick and ban phase here for UCM LOL versus Epsilon LOL. So let's go ahead and see what picks and bans we have. Josh, do you have any idea what the bans may be coming out from the side of Epsilon?
Epsilon, I think, like you said before, if they do their research, and if they, and it's not doing the research to see what they've been doing, best at in League itself, but like looking back on our streams, that's a different form of research. They would notice that the jungler has been picking the Hecarim and the Dr. Mundo, and whenever he gets those two, it's been kind of dominating in the jungle. So I'd imagine that one or two of the bans go to Dominic. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I forgot. I was thinking of 8-Bit Hypocrite. I'm like, he's a top lane though. It's whatever. Other than that, we've seen 8-Bit Hypocrite play the Maokai top lane. We've seen him play the Ornn top lane. We've seen him play Malphite top lane. All tanky champions. I don't necessarily see a ban going that way. I think that's just something that they have to deal with. We saw mid lane with the Lissandra and the Lux play. I mean, if mid lane isn't really feeling that, maybe take a ban off that. Instead, I'd look towards the bot side, because that's where you can get the real big CC supports like a Leona or a Thresh or something like
Or
that
Rel.
Rel that could really spark a team fight. And then like if you're feeling like spicy, maybe like a Kaisa. I mean, Kaisa's just generally a good ban right now, and VTech seems to have experience on the Kaisa.
Yeah, Kaisa is very strong at the moment. Some would say she's probably the best ADC. Her along with Tristana, and then Jin comes right under that upper echelon there. Excuse me. But we are here now. We have 24 seconds for UCM to put in their first ban. So let's see if they've been doing their homework. Let's see what this is going to be.
15 seconds. UCM will be banning the Senna. Now, Senna could easily be played ADC or support in this current meta. I personally love playing Senna, so same to see her gone, while Epsilon goes and bans the Swain.
I mean, support with quotation marks, because usually if she's in a support role, they take a champion such as like Tom Kench that wants to farm, something like that, and then you just play Feet or Famine Sin. I forget what it's called, Famine Sin or something like that. But we do see the Swain, and then we do have the Urgot ban. Urgot is actually extremely strong right now. In fact, he's the reason why Titanic Hydra is getting nerfed on this next patch. Urgot has been abusing that item quite a bit there, so the Urgot ban does come out from the side of UCM.
I mean, it gets a Tiamat effect on it, and whenever he goes into Purge, it's affects all
Big
of his
time
yeah.
damage, yeah.
Well, Epsilon will be going and banning the Shaco, however you want to pronounce it.
I'm not quite sure Dominic even plays Shaco. Maybe Fernlander has been trying Shaco support, which I know can be a bit of a nuisance, but I'm not quite sure about the Shaco ban there. And out comes the Fizz from UCM and the Tristana from Epsilon.
Don't ban the Fizz, especially with a Lysandra or a Lux. Fizz is just somebody you don't want to see in the mid lane against that type of mage mid laner. Tristana, like you said, just a very good pick to ban anyways. However, UCM will be picking Hecarim into the jungle position. UCM always tries to get that first pick, Hecarim, to see what they can do in the first match. Epsilon is going with the Ezreal Yuumi bot lane comp.
Yeah, this is the traditional poke composition coming out here from the side of UCM, or Epsilon, excuse me. I mean, back in the day, this used to be quite strong. Not so much now. Yuumi did get a bunch of nerfs, and then Ezreal isn't really in the top echelons of the ADCs right now. So, I mean, great picks there. I mean, that is pretty good against Hecarim, I will say. And then out comes the Jin, from the side of UCM.
Jin, I always love playing Jin. I'll keep saying that every time. Going on to the Ezreal Yuumi, though, I'm wondering what their jungle pick is going to be. Because whenever I have a Yuumi, I actually love playing with the Hecarim, because Hecarim just becomes like really unkillable at that point, and Yuumi gives him movement speed bonuses as well. UCM though will be picking the Pantheon support. We saw this kill lane, I think, 3 times already, or this is the 3rd time that we're going to see it. So ADC is going to be going for that early pressure.
Very early pressure here, and we are getting the 3rd pick here from the side of Epsilon before we get into the second ban phase here. So far, they have put together the poke comp, and out comes the Elise in the jungle. Excuse me, the Fiddlesticks. They swapped it out on us. Fiddlesticks isn't a champ that you normally see in competitive play. I have not seen him all year in like LCS, LEC, or anything like that. But if he does get off a good ultimate, it is game-changing. It can completely wipe a team fight and win you the game.
I mean, we've seen the Hecarim use the ult to go into the backline and fear. Well, Fiddlesticks is going to try to do the exact same thing, but instead of running right at them, he's going to be coming over a wall. So we're going to be seeing a jungle ult.
So Epsilon decides to go ahead and ban that Vladimir. I do believe... Have we had anybody play Vladimir on our side? I don't believe we have in this entire tournament.
I don't believe so as well.
So there goes that Vladimir ban. And then out comes the Malzahar ban. So UCM must have done their homework, and the mid for Epsilon must like playing Malzahar. Generally, he's not really played in competitive play, but when he is played, he's played for that ultimate. The ultimate locks him down for a good 2.5 to 3 seconds. So, I mean, hey, ban's a ban, right?
And we're going to be seeing the Lux ban. We only have the top laner and the mid laner for UCM left. And like I said earlier, I don't really see a reason why you'd go and ban 8-bit Hypocrites champions. If anything, I would ban the Lux or Lysandra over the top laner. So I think Lux was a good ban for Epsilon.
And then out comes the Tryndamere from the side of UCM, which is actually kind of surprising because 8-Bit Hypocrite has been playing very well against those carry-style top laners, such as like Camille, Jax, champs like that. He generally plays the tankier champs, which Tryndamere can kind of struggle into, so I'm actually kind of surprised that they threw that ban up there. He must have known that he just does not like playing against Tryndamere. and they acquiesce to that. So there goes that. And the Syndra, always a great pick coming out from the side of Epsilon.
You know, what does Cinder do? She ults. What does she do
Press
more?
R.
She ults. Kind of like a Vigar ultimate. You just play for the ultimate, and you just hope to get the kill. We will be seeing 8-Bit Hypocrite on the Maokai, you know, very steady champ for him. And we're going to be seeing fly kills on the Lissandra, expected that as well.
Yeah, so far I'm looking at these, at least the side of Epsilon, they're very magic damage heavy. So this top laner, if they decide not to pick a tank and they go ahead and take somebody that does hyper carry from the top lane, they aren't going to be very tanky in the first place. But I mean, so far it's a lot of magic damage coming out. I don't see how they're going to be able to survive against UCM's damage at the moment.
Yeah, like you said, if they don't pick the tank, 8-Bit Hypocrite, what's he going to do? Magic resistance. What's he going to do? More magic resistance. But we do see the Darius top lane pick that will be a bit hard on the Maokai. Darius is, if not, one of the best top lane engagers at the first couple of levels, just because his passive procs a bleeding effect, and at early levels, it just does so much damage.
And once he gets that stride breaker, it becomes even worse. And I know for a fact, I've talked to him, 8-Bit hates playing against Darius. I know that he hates
playing against Darius. Nobody likes playing against Darius.
I know that he hates playing against Darius, so I'm sure he's not going to be able to be as aggressive as he has been in some of the previous matches here, because Darius is, once he gets that passive stacked up, you're just not going to out DPS him pretty much ever. But looking at these compositions, Josh, who do you think has the advantage so far during the pick and ban phase?
You know, I don't want to pick favorites, like but like I still think UCM, and this is my main reason. I liked, we're both bot laners. We like to play bot. Jhin, Pantheon, extremely useful against Ezreal Yuumi. As soon as Yuumi comes off, Pantheon stuns with the W. Yuumi can't get on. They do so much burst damage that they're going, like, Ezreal and Yuumi won't be able to survive, or at least the Yuumi won't be able to survive. And while Ezreal can, like, kind of proc the buffer of his teleport to the Pantheon W, if Jhin times his W right, they can still get the stun off and still go in for the damage. So I would say right now, if anything, the enemy team's gonna be playing for, like, maybe Fiddlestick ultimates, going in for that surprise attack.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks, like I said, can change the tide of a game. You could be losing, and if he gets off one good ultimate, especially if it comes from the fog, where if anybody didn't know, if Fiddlesticks is actually from the fog or a bush or something like that, and you can't see him, you do get feared for an amount of time. So if he does ult from a bush or the fog, you can get 5-man fears off while taking massive damage, and that's going to completely change the entire tide of the game. So I'm actually anxious to see this Fiddlesticks, because I don't see him that often in this season, like, ever. I don't know what item he takes in the jungle, what his mythic is, which it maybe Everfrost, maybe is what I'm thinking that he's probably going to
maybe
take.
it's something to boost his healing, because one thing about Fiddlesticks is that, he can just farm forever. He has his W, I believe, which just steals life force from his enemies, so he can just keep on staying in the jungle. He also has his somewhat of a passive. He gets his own wards, which are basically control wards as well. So we might be seeing some, better map coverage on the side of Epsilon.
You do see, we're just going back through this real quick so you guys can go ahead and see these picks and bans once more. But as we were saying, Epsilon is very magic heavy. They do have the Darius and they do have the Ezreal now, but I don't feel like Darius really fit in with this comp. This is an extremely pokey comp, and Darius is the type that just runs at you pressing his buttons on the keyboard. So I'm not quite sure how he quite fits in with this team comp, but they are going to try to make it work. Last game we did kind of make fun of the team comp that came out, but in the end they knew how to play it and made it work. So maybe this is going to be another one of those situations.
I mean, I think this team comp is definitely a lot better than what we saw last week, even though it worked really well. I could imagine maybe they're hoping for the Fiddlesticks engage, and then Darius goes and runs in and starts beating starts spinning to win. Beyblade let it rip out into the enemy field right there.
So I'm looking at these two compositions here. I'm not biased or anything like that, but UCM, to me at least, does have the better comp. They do have the Maokai and the Hecarim, which are quite tanky there. They have the Lissandra for the lockdown, which I feel like Lissandra's ult is comparable to Syndra's. Syndra's does a bit more damage, but Lissandra's makes up for that because it is a CC move that she can also use on herself, and it heals her if she needs to in the middle of a team fight. So those two are comparable here. In the bottom lane, I do feel like Jhin and Pantheon should win this.
I've never lost a Jhin Pantheon into Ezreal Yuumi, and like I said, it's because Yuumi has to stay on Ezreal or fear getting killed by Pantheon stun.
Yeah, and I personally do not like having Yuumi supports because I feel like they're useless. I don't feel like
rude right
the
there.
ADC should be tanking all the damage in a lane. If you're the only one to focus, right, there's nothing else for the opponents to focus on, right? They're only on Ezreal. They're only focusing him, and I generally don't enjoy that.
I think then this is what, I kind of agree with you. Kind of picking the Yuumi support is a very unique situation. If you want to say qualifications to picking a Yuumi is to have somebody who has a good escape mechanism like the Ezreal or a Tristana, but then also having a jungler who can get in and out of a situation, do massive damage really fast, like a Hecarim or a Rengar. Because whenever Rengar hits level 6 and he goes, invisible and starts going on his hunt, Yuumi attached onto it makes him kind of unstoppable early to mid game. But in this situation, I just don't see Yuumi being as effective for this team comp.
I guess we shall see. In the meantime, we do have a slight spectator delay, so we will be taking a short break before we get into the game. So, guys, just stick around.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
What is your favorite smell in the whole world?
Favorite smell? Oh man. Probably just any type of food. Just any food.
Okay, alright. If you could shop for free at one store, which would you choose?
Okay, GameStop.
Not Best Buy, right?
Nah, probably not. Nah.
Okay. Buff, nerf, remove. Champions in League of Legends.
Oh man. Okay. I want to see a buff for Corki, which he kind of got recently. Nerf Set. I realize I just don't like fighting him. Remove Aphelios. Get him out of the video game. Just make him go away.
So the two most recent champs, you want nerfed and removed.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I have to say something about League of Legends there. All right.
I'm going in. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, living
are on to the Summoner's Rift. It looks like UCM wants to have a bit of shenanigans here, which they did make this work in one of the previous games, and Darius is in this tri-bush, so this could be a kill for UCM. Be very, very sneaky.
We're going to see the flash into Pantheon?
Don't do it, Fern. Fern decides not to pull the trigger. I don't blame him there. I'm glad he didn't burn his flash, but Darius does make it out, so Epsilon does know that UCM is all topside at the moment.
I mean, you know, if they definitely did their research, this is the third time that we've seen the Jhin Pantheon, and every time they do the Jhin Pantheon, they go and do a top lane shenanigan. So that was that was probably the right call made from Epsilon.
As you can see here, we have Hot E-Girl, who is the Yuumi there on the Ezreal. They're just watching the Grump there. I'm pretty sure they're not going to take that. Fiddlesticks is starting red. It's actually surprising. As far as I knew, at least, Fiddlesticks usually starts blue. He needs the mana so that he can spam that hill. But he should be pathing towards bot, so maybe they're looking for a level 3 bot kill.
I was about to say, maybe they're expecting the level 2 engage from UCM's bot side. So we're going to see the Fiddlesticks go to red buff to blue buff straight down into bot lane to try and get that out of there. We do have a lot of in-game chat going on right now. You know, people need to be focusing on the match tray.
As you do see, this Darius is already being extremely aggressive. Hypocrite's going to have to kind of back off here. I'm sure he cannot be his usually aggressive self against this Darius. That is not a good idea. But, I mean, this Ezreal Yuumi comp is Fernlander is posturing up. It looked like he wanted to pull the trigger there. Stun onto Lissandra, but she's going to be okay. Syndra does not have the damage early to go ahead and finish that off.
You know, I was just about to make a joke. I'm like, oh, it's the Yuumi typing, and then we see we see IP Slow say Yuumi players be like, haha, I type and play. Oh, that's very true. I mean, once Yumi's attached to somebody, you know, all they can do is press abilities. So they don't have to worry about, you know, dodging enemy attacks.
Yeah, so hopefully we can go ahead and get that chat box off of there so that we can focus on the game. I'm actually quite surprised that that is even still up. But there we go. That hopefully that doesn't come back up as IP Slow is coming in for that gank, has to back off. Syndra is a very safe mid lane champion there. She does have a stun on top of a push away, so that is one of the reasons why she is picked. And 8-Bit Hypocrite goes in, but this might not be what he wants. Darius does an extreme amount of damage, and he is forced to back off.
Yeah, Darius got his 2 move hit combo in. Conqueror stacks were already building up to 4, and 8-Bit Hypocrite, you know, playing the Maokai, goes in for the re-engage because he can get the healing and some damage in, but just it's too dangerous against the Darius.
And Fiddlesticks is moving in. He's walking very slowly, misses his scythe there, but VTech is most likely going to be feared. No, he is able to move away. Fernlander goes in on the Fiddlesticks, excuse me, taking big damage, and VTech is forced to heal. Fernlander and VTech have to back off there, so they only burned 1 Summoner Skill. Lissandra going in on the Darius, but this could be a dead Maokai, and in comes the Hecarim just knocking Darius around, and that is first blood going over to UCM.
Now that was a nice engage. You know, Flygill's 8-Bit Hypocrite coming in for the engage. I think they would have been fine by themselves, but IP Slow was in the top jungle, so that was just an easy secured kill for the 3 members of UCM. However, Fernlander goes in for the stun attack. Jhin misses the W though, but Pantheon's going to keep attacking.
Fernlander is going to go down there, exhaust in on him, but these minions are putting in work on the Ezreal. Ezreal able to hit that W into an auto attack and just barely survives. Yuumi back on him for the hill, and that is so unfortunate for UCM as they are going to lose so many minions there, plus the 2 deaths that they gave, or the 2 kills that they gave over to the side of Epsilon.
Whenever you play such a hard engage comp like Pantheon, it is very hard you know, to effectively communicate that they can win a fight. Fernlander knew that their damage output was going to be more than enough to get rid of this Ezreal Yuumi. However, VTech was kind of low on health, didn't have his heal, was trying to back away from the fight. Just a little bit of miscommunication. If VTech would have went in when the Pantheon went in, that would have been their kill. Easy peasy.
I will say, though, that although Ezreal Yuumi isn't meta at the moment, once they do get ahead, though, it can be very hard to engage on him. Yuumi is a champ that has great engage, but she also has great disengage. And, I mean, if you put her ahead, she will be pumping out those hills and those speed buffs and those slows and damage in a massive amount. So, I mean, so far they're losing bot lane, but hopefully they can make a comeback. Jhin is still ahead in farm. And Fernlander has his 8 there, which really doesn't matter. But hopefully they can make a comeback down here.
I think they can make the comeback. Like I said, they should have won that fight. Just a little bit of miscommunication. We do have Hecarim in the bot lane too. UCM is stalling for bot side because they're going to go and try and see if they can get this engaged. We will be seeing the Hecarim going into top river.
Fernlander flashing in, stunning the Ezreal, and this should be a dead Ezreal, and most likely a dead Yuumi. Yuumi hops off right at the right time. That was actually quite far of a hop off of Ezreal. I don't know if I've seen one that far. Maybe because Hecarim pushed Ezreal back at the same time. But down goes the Ezreal, and that is a kill for IP Slow.
Definitely the hot e-girl who is the Yuumi definitely timed it right. That would have been dangerous if she would have stayed on just a second longer.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Yuumi is it's all or nothing with her. Pretty much if the champion that you're riding on dies, you will most likely die also. But she did get away that time. 8-bit Hypocrite, excuse me, I don't know what I'm saying right there, is losing in farm against this Darius, but this Darius is constantly pushed. I'm surprised Hecarim isn't playing topside a bit more because this does seem like it could be an easy gank, really.
Easy gank, but IP Slow is level 5 and Darius is level 6. If he were to get the kill on 8-bit Hypocrite, Darius could probably win that 1v2 engage. You know, it's a little bit risky, and Drake is up, and we've been seeing UCM take these first Drakes extremely fast, so I don't blame IP Slow for being bot lane.
Fiddlesticks is there, but he is rooted and stunned by Pantheon. He just might go down. He's just going to walk through, and he's able to get the steal, and look at the amount of heals that he just got off of those champions. That is a double kill for Fiddlesticks. Holy cow, Josh.
I mean, Ezreal's going to keep chasing right now.
This is going to be a dead VTech with the WQ from Ezreal, and that is 3 kills going over to the side of Epsilon.
That's such a shame, Trey. I was so sure that I'm like, oh, this Fiddlesticks, extremely low health. Jhin has his grenade, Dark Harvest, and 4-shot proc. Like, Fiddlesticks is going to go down, but immediately goes for the W, tries to get a little bit of lifesteal off. That lifesteal makes him survive the Jhin's first engage, and then beats the Hecarim in a smite fight, not only securing the Drake, but gaining him enough health to continue the fight until the Yuumi gets on him, and then, you know, just being unstoppable at that point.
Lissandra is up top. This could be a dead Darius. Darius got himself into something he did not want to be in, and down goes Darius as he does chop, and this could be 8-bit Hypocrite going down. The passive is still ticking. Is it going to kill him? He is able to heal himself off of his passive. That was extremely close. But back to that dragon fight. 1 second as Hecarim is running in, hits Ezreal, and that's one of the things about Ezreal. If you go ahead and proc your E as Hecarim is jumping at you, you'll be knocked in the direction that you eat in. So Ezreal is able to save himself, and that's sort of like a pseudo counter at ADC for Hecarim. But that dragon fight, Josh, so for those of you that don't know, once you smite, you also, at least if you smite a jungle camp, you gain HP from smiting that. So Fiddlesticks went in, smited the dragon, was able to steal it, gained HP from that, and then was able to heal off Krugs, or off the Scuttle Crab, excuse me, and all 3 members of UCM, which he went from like 25% HP to at least 50 to 75% instantly. That was such an unfortunate fight for UCM, but they are only down by about 900 gold at the moment, so not too bad, but not where they want to be.
Definitely not where they want to be, especially with this bot lane kill lane. Hecarim has spent a lot of his time and resources to get these early kills bot lane, and they've only gotten, 1 kill out of it. Definitely not the start that UCM was probably wanting. But I will say, however, Flygill's doing an extremely good job of pushing his lane and getting these counter kills top lane.
As you do see IP Slow pinging the Rift Herald there. Goes unstoppable, decides to jump onto the Darius, knocks him back into the Maokai snare. Getting knocked around, cannot play the game. He might go down, he flashes. Oh, is that something going to chase him down? No, it does not proc in time. That was extremely close. Darius does make it away, though.
Sadly, Maokai, I don't know what ability that is, but it's the one that pushes and slows. 8-bit Hypocrite just happened to press it as soon as Darius was right behind him, so he went in the opposite direction of what they were hoping, allowing Darius to flash and escape.
Oh no, here comes the Fiddlesticks, and there it is. Big time damage, big time fear, and Lissandra goes down. It is 3 kills to 6, Josh.
I mean, and that's what we're expecting from the Fiddlesticks, coming in from the bushes, around the corners, getting that ultimate off, which fears, but if they, come in from that fog of war, and IP Slow had no idea, they're just able to get that long taunt off.
And Fiddlesticks looks to have gotten himself into a situation. Out comes the ult, but Fiddlesticks goes golden, able to dodge that. He is probably going to be able to make it away here. Darius did get snared by that ultimate, and they both make it away. As that almost scared me. I realized that Ezra is on his team, and that sliced right through his own teammate there. But great play there from the Fiddlesticks. This Fiddlesticks is putting in work here.
I was about to say, I'm like, VTech coming in with the clutch ultimate. I'm like, VTech's not Ezreal, so it doesn't do anything. But, you know, I think 8-Bit Hypocrite was about to go all in that fight, but the ultimate did hit the Darius, and even though he was in Fog of War, he's like, oh, my ultimate hit something. I probably need to back away from this fight.
Yeah, I remember back before Fiddlesticks got his rework, he was very lackluster. They updated him, and it actually does, like, if you're not expecting a Fiddlesticks ult, it can kind of make you jump back from your screen, which I think is absolutely awesome because it just adds to the lore of the champion when he just pops out and now you're feared and damaged, and you're just like, what is going on here? But this Fiddlesticks is playing very well. He looks to be posturing up to maybe challenge just Scuttle here. He does not have his ultimate either. Ezreal does get off a little bit of damage on Flygills, but Fly is able to make it away. Fiddlesticks is trapped between a Pantheon and a Hecarim. There goes a snare from Jin. He is rooted. He is going to go down to the Jin. Hecarim goes in, and there it is. The Yuumi ult absolutely stops Hecarim in his tracks. Nothing he can do, but looks like Darius has found himself in a 2v1 and is going to go down to 8-Bit Hypocrite 3-0 on the Maokai.
I was about to say, I was very surprised to see IP Slow focus more on the Scuttle than actually focusing on the Fiddlesticks, but, you know, just want to make sure that he didn't get a smite off, want to get the gold, and I think maybe he had a lot of teammates, so the Fiddlesticks was easy, and, you know, going into this fight, it looks like all of UCM members are down here, so Ocean Drake will be going over to the side of UCM, and it's going to be an Infernal Dragon Soul.
So that, for you that don't know, that changes the map in the way that around the red buff, the wall around that kind of crumbles away, and it's a lot more open. You can walk through various different ways and get through the jungle a lot quicker, excuse me, than you could previously. Now, for the buff that it gives you, once you do get to Infernal Soul, you do get more burst damage on your autos, on your spells, and things like that. I believe it's on something like a 4 or 5 second cooldown, and it is big damage on somebody like a Syndra or a Fiddlesticks. When you do have that Infernal Soul, as Hold That Thought, Flygills does get the flash snare onto the Syndra, and comes Fernlander also, and that was almost overkill in all honesty.
I mean, we saw the Ghost from IP Slow, we saw the Flash ultimate from Flygills, not ultimate from Flygills, but the Flash coming in from Flygills, and the ultimate coming in from Pantheon to secure that kill. A little bit of overkill, but, you know, want to secure it once you use all those resources. IP Slow's going in and interrupting this Rift Herald, though.
Yeah, we're going to have a little fight here. Fiddlesticks does excel when he has multiple targets to drain off of, and he's forced to flash, but he's going back in with the ultimate. He has no follow-up. Darius does end up coming over the wall, and this is going to be Fiddlesticks going down. Lysandra comes in and puts in the work. Darius could put in work here, though. He does get the hill, but it is not enough.
That was very interesting. I actually didn't know who took the Rift Herald. There were so many fights going on, so many flashes.
Excuse me, as Fernlander goes in with the flash stun onto the Ezreal, but he got himself into a situation, and they are able to make it away. In comes the Ezreal. Oh, Fernlander is able to dodge that VTech, seeing what he can do with these snipes. Hits him with 2, hits him with 3. Can he hit him with the 4th? Yuumi jumps off to protect her ADC, and Ezreal is able to survive. Great play there from Yuumi.
Great play indeed. I'm going to go back to the Rift Herald fight, though, real quick. That Rift Herald, I didn't actually know who got it.
Oh, man, as Ezreal comes back in, very, very sneaky. VTech not expecting it. Fernlander comes back in with the stun. Yuumi trying to do what she can to these two, but that is just not going to be going well for Yuumi, and down goes Ezreal Yuumi combo.
I'm just trying to talk about the Rift Herald and, you know, bot lane shenanigans, back at it again. If you played League of Legends, you know all about those bot lane shenanigans. So going back to the Rift Herald, I don't know who smited it. It was very hard to tell. There's so much fighting going on. We saw the Fiddlesticks have to flash out, ult back into the fight. Darius was in that engage, and it was very close. The UCM was able to secure that Rift Herald through all that confusion and mess that went on, and it was very close. IP Slow feared the Darius mid-spin, and while the fear still goes off and Darius starts moving, his spin interaction doesn't stop, which almost caused 8-Bit Hypocrite to die because he got into the maximum damage range of his Q.
So as you do see, Fiddlesticks here taking his red, looking to be passing towards bottom. Lysandra is heading top to look for a gank on this Darius. The Tribush is warded up there, though, so I doubt they will be able to get that one, as it does look like they're going to be into a little skirmish. Flygills kind of senses it out and decides to back off.
You see an Ezreal ult coming in, but Hecarim's coming down.
And there it is again, but Jin is able to stun. Yumi ult comes out, but this is still going to be a dead Ezreal, too much damage, and Yumi is sure to go down here. Hot E-Girl, not so hot anymore, goes down to VTech, I believe, and that is another double kill down there for the bottom lane.
And this is the kill lane that UCM was expecting to happen. Even though Ezreal has that disengage, if VTech can hit his W from the Hecarim's attack, and then Fernlander follows up with a stun, it should be a kill every single time, as long as it's that 2v3.
Yeah, it is. So far, at least, it's looking kind of bleak for that bot lane, which is surprising because they did have the early lead. But hold that thought. They are looking to go at it. Darius is actually taking the brute force of this. Fiddlesticks coming down by it. Instant switch there, and that should at least be Fernlander going down, and that is VTech doing what he can. He might dive this. If he had flash, he may have went for that. He's aiming at the Fiddlesticks. He's not hitting them. Ezreal comes in, is doing damage, and VTech may have stayed just too long. Ezreal is most surely going to be chasing this stun coming in from VTech. Does Ezreal have his E up? I don't know if he does. He may have it up. He's still chasing this. Not able to hit that final Q, and VTech makes it away. That was extremely close.
I think even if the Ezreal would have been able to hit VTech, I think he would have survived by the grit of his teeth just by a little bit.
I'm not sure.
But, yeah, I knew that Ezreal was going to... I mean, with the ultimate comes out, but he has no idea where VTech is, so that's not going to hit nothing. But, yeah, during that first fight, Ezreal used his little teleport to get to help Fiddlesticks survive, basically, so I knew it wasn't up.
Flygills comes in from behind the Syndra, does what he can, has not used his ultimate yet, still doing what he can. Hecarim comes in, and that's going to be surely Syndra going down. The Hecarim is everywhere right now. I would really be saying jungle diff at the moment, but, I mean, both junglers are playing well.
Both junglers are playing well indeed. Just UCM just didn't get the early engages that they were expecting. And, you know, that first dragon fight just did not go in their favor at all. But, you know, this is the comp that UCM, this is the kill participation and pressure that they were wanting this entire time.
Oh, no. Ezreal might have stepped too far forward. Hecarim is in here just taking a bunch of damage. He does not have his ult. In comes the snare from the Maokai. And Darius is not having a fun time at the moment.
I was going to say, I'm like, Darius is going to die, and then the Yumi on top of him is going to die as well. I forgot there's a visual bug right now that's going on, that if Yumi hops onto somebody and hops off, they still have the indicator on. So no double kill that I was expecting, but either way, still free kill on Darius and a free Infernal Drake.
And as I was saying when they were in the pick and ban phase, Josh, I just don't see how Darius fits into this comp. I mean, they want to poke, but then Darius just has to run at him, and that is not going well. If Darius has to run into 5 while 4 of his teammates are in the back just throwing their spells out, it doesn't work. And, I mean, it shows here. Darius is 0-5. As Pantheon is chasing that Yumi there, he may be able to get to her, but no, she is able to make it away. Fiddlesticks doing what he can to 8-bit Hypocrite, but, I mean, he's just too tanky at the moment.
I mean, Darius, like, was doing fine. Oh, never mind. We still have the engage going on bot lane.
Oh, man, and there it is again, just melted, and this is surely going to be Yumi going down again. Like we said, it is all or nothing with Yumi, and, I mean, you're seeing it here, case in point.
I mean, why would they hide in the bush? They know Jin Pantheon's coming down. Like, yeah, they might get the first ability hit. What's Yumi going to do except for ult, but they're still in range, so it was kind of a useless fight, I feel like, bot lane side.
Yeah, they are definitely hit as Fiddlesticks flashes, but Fernlander gets a mid-flash and is able to save his ADC. In comes the snare, and this is going to be Fiddlesticks going down to a VTech stun.
And this is really scary, Trey, for Epsilon, because Jin is getting kills. You know, especially in the earlier patches, Jin needs time to show his true you know, he's a virtuoso, and that virtuoso needs to be perfect before he can actually dominate everybody. 6 kills with 4 assists. He has a 700 bounty on his head. VTech is feeling very spicy right now.
Now, I will say, you know it's bad when Maokai is basically 1v1 and Darius in the top. Maokai doesn't have the damage in his kit. I feel like 2 1v1 and Darius, but he is still winning those 1v1s. So you can tell Darius is extremely far behind, and, I mean, it is an uphill battle here for Epsilon.
You know what the main difference was, though? Because early game, Darius was actually beat 8-bit Hypocrite every single time, but the engage from Flygills, the mid laner, coming in to assist so many times. How many times have we seen Silent Craziness or the I'm forgetting the mid laner's name? So Silent Crazy. Well, how many times have we seen him go top lane?
As they are having a little fight here over the red buff. Epsilon not wanting to give this up, and they do fight for it, scaring UCM off. Also, I'm going to say that, I mean, on the side of Epsilon, Darius hasn't even gotten his mythic yet. He's still on just 2 base items there. Ezreal, I mean, Essence Reaver, excuse me, isn't a mythic per se, but it is still very good. So, I mean, even in just the items, man, they really, really want this Fiddlesticks. There comes the snare, and down goes Fiddle. And this could be a Darius going down also. There goes the smite. There goes the flash from Fernlander, and he does get a double, and Fly goes very close to going down. Ults himself and is able to heal. Does take that Q from the Ezreal, but is able to survive that. And UCM picks up 2 kills for 0 there.
I mean, they're using a lot to get these kills, but I mean, you know, dominate while you still can. Make sure that Darius can't, you know, get in this game. Make sure the Fiddlesticks, you know, with his lead that he slightly had, make sure that's going to waste. And UCM is doing that well. Such nice team coordination right now.
Very nice, and they are doing very well in the warding too. As you look at the top and bottom side for red, or the top and bot jungle, excuse me, it's warded up by UCM, and wards are one of the counters to Fiddlesticks. You need to know where he is at all times because the ult can change the tide of a fight, and UCM's doing an excellent job at that.
Definitely seems to be the case. They will be putting the Rift Herald that they got a little bit ago. Probably was running out of time, so they just put it who knows where in top lane. I think the Maokai was actually the one who grabbed it. IP Slow knows that the Fiddlesticks is top lane taking the Krugs, but there's no fight that's going to be going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty bleak here. You do see Hecarim at level 12 versus his counterpart on the other side at level 10. So any smite fight, Hecarim generally should win that. The rest are pretty even. We do see the Ezreal 1 level below VTech, but that's not too much. And then Yuumi is actually extremely far down. Lowest in the game actually at level 9 versus her counterpart Fernlander at level 11. So UCM does have the gold lead. They have the item lead, and they have the level lead here. So they are in the command. It's actually just their game to lose, really.
It is their game to lose right now. I mean, the only thing though is that if they can get a team wipe on the side of UCM, they'll probably get a way to come back, because everybody on UCM has, except for the Hecarim, I guess, even though he's 2-1-10, has a bounty, and some of those bounties are pretty high right now.
Yeah, the 700 from Jin, that's at least half an item, I do say. I mean, 1400 is about at half an item, and then the Pantheon actually has a 400, which is surprising for a support there. At 6 and 3, I mean, I guess he's a support, but it's Pantheon, so he's still doing damage here. And UCM is going to be able to take that second Infernal Dragon, but that is the 3rd overall dragon for themselves. So they are in a commanding lead, and Epsilon could do nothing to even remotely stop that.
And if UCM can get this last Drake within the next 5 minutes, or if they just end it downright, that Infernal Drake soul will be so huge, since UCM has such an attack comp.
And there goes Hecarim. That ultimate is such a far distance. Ezreal he gets feared and then stops walking and then starts walking again into the side of UCM. That fear is something crazy. In comes the Fiddlesticks. Oh, there is a 5-man fear, but there is no follow-up from his teammates. His teammates were bot and top. I'm not understanding what Epsilon is doing at the moment, and this should at least be this inhibitor tower going down.
Oh, IP Slow surviving on like 20 HP, tanking turret shots like crazy. They will most likely be backing away from that. There's just too much tower shots going on.
If Epsilon had better team coordination and the team was there, that was the perfect opportunity for them to at least make leeway in getting back into this game. That was a 5-man Fiddlesticks ult with fear. As you do see,
under tower.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks did half of everybody's HP by himself. If he had Darius and Syndra there, I'm sure that they could have at least picked up 2 or 3 kills there. So unfortunate there for them. They aren't able to go ahead and pick up some of those kills. And I mean,
I think it was funny because if you like looked at the map as soon as that fight happened, Darius, yeah, top lane, the Syndra bot lane, but they were exactly in the same spot. They were both at like the highest and lowest point of the map, just chilling. A fight, you know, like they're taking the base first tower, so you know, no problem. I guess I'll just keep pushing out lanes.
Oh my gosh, and there's another Hecarim ult. It is already back up. I feel like we saw it 20 seconds ago. And as you can see here, 8-bit Hypocrite's not backing down to this Darius. In fact, he is so slow, or so low, or just behind in general, that he's getting 1v1 by Maokai, so he can't even farm in peace.
Yeah, so they're going to be going for this Baron buff while Flygills pushes the bot lane. They have to send, you know, everybody to this Baron fight, so this is going to be easy push bot lane. It looks like actually Syndra's going to go match the Lysandra, and they're going to just leave Sir spawn to try and steal this Baron.
Yeah, I doubt Ezreal and Yumi are going to be able to do it, but nonetheless, they have to try. This should, at least if they get it, be mid-inhibitor, as that first tower there is almost completely down. I hope Darius does not decide to flash in
Oh
there.
why didn't he? They had no smite.
Oh, as Ezreal steals it with the Q, down goes the Darius, and this could be a dead Lissandra if she decides to push. Those minions are going to do massive damage because they are Baron buff. Josh, I don't know if I did a reverse caster curse or what, but Ezreal got it.
He could have had so I don't know if UCM knew he had the ultimate up, whatever. But if you don't have smite, you know what you do? You build a formation around the walls of Baron. Make sure you're blocking the attacks. Well, UCM didn't do that. One Q from Ezreal stole the Baron.
That was so clutch. Fiddlesticks in with the ultimate. This could be 8-bit Hypocrite going down. He's forced to flash. He is still going to be chased. Oh, man, the camera's going everywhere. 8-bit Hypocrite. Fiddlesticks still fighting, and there comes IP Slow doing what he can, trying to save his teammate. Fiddles goes golden. Fernlander trying to block. Fiddles forced to flash away, and Josh, I'm looking at these team fights as Ezreal goes ahead and gets that shutdown on the Maokai. Josh, this is the opportunity that Epsilon is looking for. Massive damage coming out from the WQ on Ezreal, and Ezreal looks to be ramping up here. That damage is absolutely disgusting, and that Baron still just may be the turning point in the game, Josh. Oh no, as Flygos gets stunned. Syndra did not have ultimate, so she wasn't able to finish that. Her ultimate is back up now, so 1 second earlier, and she would have been able to go ahead and finish that kill.
And even if UCM would have lost the people, if they would have just taken the Baron, this push wouldn't have been happening. But the Baron buffs with 2 members of UCM down, that's not something that they can defend. UCM has to give up that turret, such a huge lead, and they lost about 1,100 damage, or 1,100 in gold just through bounties alone.
Holy cow. I mean, I guess that's why there is the meme about Baron throws. Baron is pretty much the one thing that really can have a team throw or win a game. And as you can see there, Epsilon not playing around, taking that Baron buff and I believe getting 2 or 3 kills along with it, plus that first inhibitor tower in mid lane. So that could be the turning point. That could be the point that we talk about come at the end of this game. As Hecarim decides to go in, pushes Darius back, and Darius is not having a good game. 0-8-0 is miserable. Josh, what do you see here, man?
So while they did lose the Baron, that was kind of a huge throw on UCM's side. We do see that this will be Drake's Soul. Unless this Fiddlesticks can steal it, this should be a win for UCM because this damage is just going to be so insane. Ezreal cannot steal it. Fiddlesticks cannot get in. UCM will be taking the Soul. So unless they get Elder Drake at this point, 5 minutes from now, UCM should be on the attacking end.
IP slow, very low. Oh my goodness. Ezreal is absolutely ramping up. Those Qs are hitting like a Cho'Gath ultimate. In comes the Fiddlesticks ultimate, but they just do not have the damage to finish off Flygills and Fernlander, and that is going to be an ace going over to the side of UCM.
And now UCM is just going to be pushing up the lanes. The only one up is the Darius right now, but what can Darius do? 0 and 8 against this team right now. Not really much. While mid might not be able to get this tower, we'll see.
Josh, you said not much, but Flygills goes very low. If he can get off the ultimate on Flygills, he just may pick up the kill. Is he going to use it? Does chop, but is not able to pick that up. Flygills does still have the passive on him. Is he going to be able to survive? He does survive at very, very low HP.
Darius could not get the max stacks of blood off, so it wasn't able to get the insane damage that Darius wants to see, allowing Flygills to barely survive with their life. But with that, the rest of the enemy team is currently up right now, so UCM will be backing away for the moment.
I'm looking at this game here, and the only way that I can see Epsilon winning this is to play around the Ezreal win condition. Ezreal is absolutely ramping up right now. Those Qs are chunking like 15 to 20% of their HP off when they do hit. So, I mean, what they can do is just let Ezreal throw those Qs, poke down, especially before this next dragon fight, because it is going to be excuse me, what is the name of that buff?
The which buff?
The buff that's coming up for the next dragon.
Oh,
Elder Drake.
Elder Drake.
Excuse me.
I was confused where you were going with that.
Yeah, so if they can get, poke UCM down before this next Elder Dragon buff, I mean, they might be in good position as they do have a 4 stack here. This is one of my favorite things to do, actually, is just stack a bush because it can change the tide of a game.
It can. Do you imagine though that UCM is gonna be split pushing? I mean, their biggest thing is Fiddlesticks ulting in.
Very quiet, Josh Flygills walks right into it and gets absolutely deleted from the game. That's why you stack a bush. Holy cow.
I mean, yeah, you know, getting rid of Flygills, you know. Flygills actually did a lot of damage with that 1Q against all of them. Maokai's going to go in for this fight, though.
And here comes the rest of the brigade for the side of Epsilon. Out comes the Maokai. Oh, it does not hit the Fiddlesticks. I thought it might have nicked him, but it did not. 8-Bit Hypocrite having a bit of a misplay there, going in without his team, but Darius is just so far behind that he just gets melted, and that is going to be Fiddlesticks going down. And this could be the push that UCM needs to go ahead and end the game.
They can either do that, or they can wait for the Baron that's 26 seconds. As long as IP Slow doesn't waste the smite before the fight and let the Ezreal steal it, I think they can either just end it now or just wait for that Baron.
Yeah, I probably would go ahead and try to end it. Don't want to maybe throw the game on another Baron still here, but they are going to go ahead and take this inhibitor. That is mid and top inhibitor down on the side of Epsilon. So, I mean, they have quite a bit of pressure here. The next Elder Drake is up in 2 minutes 42 as IP Slow is playing very aggressive lately. He goes in on that, not able to do anything. There was no follow-up, and he did not have his ult at the moment. So UCM is going to go ahead and back off.
Fiddlesticks is back up right now, though, so if they want to take this Baron, they have to do it fast. If not, they have to wait and maybe see if they can catch him off guard in a bush or whatnot.
I mean, Baron Pit is one of the places where Fiddlesticks excels. It's such a small area that if he does ult, he generally hits everybody. So, I mean, he's walking towards it, but his team is not there. So if he does decide to go in, it's going to be to take that, and he knows he's most likely going to die. And it does look like he is going to go kamikaze Fiddlesticks. He has slight vision on that from the Ezreal ult. Is he going to go in with this? Hecker. Ooh. Oh, they go in on the Fiddlesticks. They are making sure that they can secure that. Big time play there from Flygills, and that is Baron going over to UCM.
I mean, not only they had the Maokai ult go out to try and push him towards the bush, which just allowed Flygills to easily just go in, dash over that wall, and just cause confusion for the Fiddlesticks. So very, very nice on the side of UCM. They will be taking the Baron this time right now, so we're going to either be seeing some pushes, and if they can't finish the game with this push with the Baron, they will be setting up for Elder Drake then, which comes up in a minute 25.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see a way that Epsilon can come back from this one. They are slightly down, slightly, as I do say that, by about 8K. I mean, hey, UCM's going to go ahead and try to push this in with the supers and the Baron buff, and let's see what they can do. Ezreal does have 4 items now also.
Yeah, Ezreal does seem to be a very scary factor.
Oh my goodness, as you do see the Q absolutely chunk Flygills.
I mean, Flygills is the weak, but
in comes the Fiddlestick ult from the back, and this could be what they needed. So much damage coming out from the side of UCM, though. He immediately goes down, and Darius is ramped up. Big, oh my goodness, that was absolute damage on Flygills. I'm sure a lot of that was true damage also, and this should be 8-Bit Hypocrite going down. And like I said, Josh, this Ezreal is ramping up.
This Ezreal is the, and I don't want to say the main driving force for the enemy team, because obviously Fiddlesticks is chunking and fearing so much, allowing the Ezreal to pop off, but this Ezreal damage is just too scary right now. We do have the minions taking away some of the last turrets, trying to chunk that down, but Elder Drake is currently going to be up in 15 seconds. The first person coming up on UCM is 10 seconds with, 23 seconds on 8-Bit Hypocrite. This might be Elder Drake for...
I don't know. I don't think Ezreal Yumi can do it by himself. Maybe if it was like a Tristana or a Vayne, we're going to see there. He is pushing it. Fernlander does have his ultimate also, so if he comes in with that, he is going to be able to stop that. Elder Drake is at about 50% HP, I believe, at this point, and UCM is making their way there. This is very dangerous, but Fiddlesticks is there. If he gets off a good ult, this could be Elder going over to the side of Epsilon, and they are able to take that. That is absolutely huge, Josh.
I was about to say, Pantheon's ultimate was up that entire time, and once Pantheon hits level 14, his ultimate should be at level 2, which means that he has far greater range on the ult. I'm surprised he didn't just go in for a kamikaze attack. This is Elder Drake. That's a huge buff for the enemy team to have. Pantheon could have tried to stall or, try to do something to stop the Ezreal and Fiddlesticks from coming in while Hecarim is running in. But we saw the Pantheon ult come in a couple seconds too late. So
I mean,
I don't know how UCM's gonna. I guess they're just gonna play very passively at the moment.
this is going to be rough because last fight, Ezreal picked up 2 kills, and one of them was 1,000 gold. 1,000 gold bounty there. He is ramped up, and I'm gonna call this now, Josh. If UCM at this point gets hit by a Fiddlesticks ultimate while they have, or Epsilon that is, while Epsilon has the Elder Dragon buff, it's gonna be game over.
It might be game over,
Yeah.
definitely and that might. It'll just be a team wipe at that point.
Yeah, I mean, and with the damages Ezreal is doing, 3 Qs, as they do jump onto the Fiddlesticks, that is a big pickup if they can get it. Ezreal is over the wall, throwing in Qs, doing what he can. Oh my gosh, so much damage coming in from Syndra, and Ezreal is able to finish that off with the Elder Dragon buff. UCM has to run. This is surely going to be 8-bit Hypocrite going down. Oh no, Josh, UCM is falling apart at the seams. That could be what Epsilon needed to finish the game off.
I mean, I don't, maybe not exactly finished. I think UCM might be able to survive. However, Ezreal goes in for the flash Q. Flykills goes flash for flash, though. They will be surviving a little bit longer, but this is very dangerous for UCM.
This is over.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Because Ezreal's doing so much. Okay, you might be right. Ezreal's doing a lot more damage than I'm expecting. And I know they have Elder Drake, but bro, that was at least a third of Flykills out.
That was an E and a Q, and Flygills is at 10% HP, and at that point, Egro was able to auto attack and go ahead and finish it off with the Elder Dragon buff. But Hecarim decides to go in. They aren't going to chase that. Epsilon is going to go ahead and try to finish off the game. There goes Tower 2. Fiddlesticks coming in with the ultimate. There goes Elder Dragon buff, and Josh, UCM fails to win this game. That is Epsilon taking game 1. Oh, man.
That was a very close game. And, I don't want to say it, but I think that Baron steal was the turning point of the game. I don't it's just a shame. I don't understand. I get that Ezreal could have had his ult up. That was a threat. I just don't understand why they weren't posturing to the wall of the Baron, so that way if a stray attack did come in when they didn't have smite, they could tank the damage. I just don't understand, Trey.
On an Ezreal Q, they lost Baron. It is so unfortunate, but that was a really good game. Epsilon, they never gave up, and once they did take that Baron, that was the changing point. And then on top of that, they got the Elder at the end, which, I mean, a Fiddlesticks ult with Elder, you're most likely not going to survive that, as we do see there. I mean, Ipeso got very, very aggressive trying to get the Fiddlesticks, and the Zhonya's Hourglass saved them. And then Ezreal comes in with the clutch Q, absolutely finishing off. I believe it was 8-bit Hypocrite with the Q with the Elder Dragon buff also. And, I mean, they played around the Ezreal, and like I said, he was the win condition.
And like you said, once they got Elder Drake too, Ezreal's chunking for a third of most of UCM's team. And so once he gets the second Q off, Elder Drake pops off. So, I mean, a couple mistakes there on UCM side. We will be going on to the second game, though. It's still a best 2 out of 3. So just stick around because we'll be right back into the banning phase in just a few short minutes.
Those Ezreal Qs, guys.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
What was your favorite toy when growing up?
Oh, Lord. Webkins. I'm gonna have to go with Webkins.
Webkins?
Yeah, dude, I loved my Webkins.
All right. Webkins. All right. So how would you describe yourself to your friends?
A healthy mix of introverted and extroverted.
Okay. Healthy
Yeah.
mix there?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
Play games. Still, that's what I always do. Yeah.
Play video?
I ain't got nothing I would need to do with invisibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about one of your grandparents?
Just how nice they are to be around. It's I go out and visit them both a lot, and one set of my grandparents lives a good deal away, so driving out and just being with them, just their company.
don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall. From a quarter mile, I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. I'm going in. Fall into oblivion. Fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. I'm going in. You can't fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together.
Hello, and we are back into the pick and ban phase here. Josh, UCM did lose game one, but they do still at least have 2 opportunities to go ahead and get the win in the series. And as you do see, the Ezreal ban comes out from the side of UCM, and I do not blame them, as those Qs are hitting like trucks.
Yeah, they're just like, you know what? How about we just ban the person who kind of lost us at the first game? Let's just make sure he isn't in there. We do see the Fizz ban coming in from UCM, probably for the mid laner, because we do see Flygills playing the squishy mages. Epsilon will be banning the Swain Tristana in the Pantheon. I don't blame the Pantheon pick, too, because Jhin Pantheon is such, like we said, an early kill lane. They didn't get the best start that they were expecting, but they got a lot of kills from that bot comp.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't have banned the Pantheon simply because they won last game. So it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. As we do see the Hecarim ban coming out from UCM, so they do not want that to go over to the side of Epsilon. And, I mean, this gives UCM the opportunity to go ahead and pick up the Mundo if they'd like.
I mean, we're probably going to see it. Dr. Moon was really good. We don't see the Yuumi pick this time. We see the Seraphine, kind of like a better version of Yuumi, to be quite honest.
I mean, think about it, could be. It is a flex there, so it could be going either support or mid. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of mid Seraphine. I think she's absolutely broken. I think the ult is absolutely amazing and pretty game-breaking in my own honest opinion, though. But out comes the Maokai, of course, for 8-bit Hypocrite on the side of UCM. So that first pick Maokai, I'm guessing he's just not afraid to be counterpicked.
I mean, when you play a tank top lane, you don't necessarily have to win the lane. You just have to survive the lane, and then you become, the person just tanking all the shots. And that's, Maokai is really good for doing that, and he has the health regen with one of his abilities, and then he also has his ultimate, which is a very nice, CC attack. But we will be seeing the Thresh pick coming in from the UCM for the support, so maybe we're going to be seeing either Jinx or a Kai'Sa.
Yeah, as we have seen, that's what UCM likes to pair up with the Thresh. I'm a big fan of Thresh. I think he's really good at the moment. I really feel like he should be a pick ban champion. But we do see Sivir, and I mean, Sivir, she's good, especially late game. She's not a top tier ADC at the moment, but once she does get ramped up with the Dark Harvest stacks and gets her items going, that Q just absolutely chops through HP. And we do see the Urgot coming out also, which I believe was banned last game. So Epsilon looking to abuse the Urgot top lane.
The Urgot's definitely going to be scary, and if he gets a couple kills, then he becomes a boss rate Urgot, and that's just something you don't ever want to.
Unstoppable.
It doesn't matter what team comp you have, boss rate Urgot is just. It's not fun. It's not fun. We will be seeing the Dr. Mundo. We were expecting that from the jungle pick for IP Slow. Hecarim, that was their first match of Hecarim that they've lost. Well, they haven't lost with Dr. Mundo jungle yet, so switch one for the other. We'll see if Dr. Mundo will be the correct pick into whatever Epsilon will be bringing out.
as UCM goes ahead and looks like they're going to go, I mean, ban the Malzahar. I'm not sure if Epsilon plays it. Last time Epsilon was the one that banned the Malzahar, and I mean, in all these series so far, we have seen UCM or the other team ban Malzahar. Is he in the meta right now?
I haven't seen him in a long. I haven't seen him in a long time. Maybe like an ARAM.
So much priority on the Malzahar ban, but out comes the Epsilon ban with the Lux, and I would, because Flygos has played very well in this entire tournament on that Lux.
We will be seeing the Fiddlesticks ban coming in from UCM as well, since Epsilon has not picked their jungle yet, completely destroying their two main damage dealers from the last match. Obviously, Epsilon is going with a completely different comp than they originally were going with, so, Fiddlesticks just is an annoying champion to deal with either way.
One thing I will say is UCM is going to have to get some major damage out of these last two picks, the ADC and the mid. I'm guessing it's probably, I would hope UCM at least picks Kaisa. She is top tier at the moment and does do a lot of damage, but so far they don't have much damage. They are very tanky, but I mean, tankiness isn't going to kill the opponent, right? It's not going to get those eliminations, and it looks like this could be the Ashe coming out.
Not a bad pick. Ashe will be slowing a lot, and especially with the Dr. Mundo, who just likes to run people down. That could be like somewhat of a pseudo combo move right there. Not really necessarily like ability ultimate wise, but just like game wise.
Yeah, I mean, she's good. She doesn't have the damage that some other ADCs has, but she does have the utility with her slow and her stuns and her things like that.
Her Q is like on like a 2-second cooldown, and it's stupid damage. So I mean, it's just I have to ban her a lot for support more than anything. I don't even see her ADC that much. I ban her for the support.
League in 2021, let me tell you. As we do see the Syndra ban, or the Syndra pick coming out, from the side of Epsilon again. I mean, she did have a really, really nice double stun there towards the end of last game, and I mean, hey, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish, right? So I mean, she did what she could at the end, put her team in a position to win, and I mean, she's just a solid all-around pick. As UCM doesn't have their mid yet, so I mean, Syndra is quite hard to counter. She's just a good control mage.
So we're probably going to see the Lissandra going into it. Syndra, Lissandra, just keeping it up with that. I mean, Lissandra or Flygills beat Syndra in lane. Let's just be honest, was able to push it out, was able to help top lane a lot more. Syndra just wasn't a part of that. So there we go. More interesting is this Dr. Mundo to a Mumu.
Yeah.
Both of them have like a radius effect damage too. Yeah, Mumu does curse damage. Dr. Mundo does like some fire, what's the defense item that tanks get? Sunflower cape. Yeah, kind of like a somewhat of an item of that, but this will be an interesting jungle matchup.
Yeah, Amumu is literally never picked on the competitive stage.
Tyler One picks him.
For a while there, though, at the beginning of this season, he did become very, very strong with the new item changes, and they had to nerf the items, plus him just a bit. But I do look at the side of Epsilon's comp, and honestly, I think they have the better comp than UCM.
It's definitely a very scary one. Amumu's ultimate is a radius effect stun, kind of like Nico, where she jumps up and stuns everybody, but Mumu's is instantaneously. So if he gets a bandage wrap, he will be pulling towards UCM and just stunning everybody. And with that, everybody still, guess what? Let's just get Seraphine up in here, doing an encore, gets the whole entire team into a double long CC stun. And, Epsilon has the damage to go for it too.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. Who was Epsilon's jungle pick? Amumu, okay, yes. All right, so yeah, I mean, Seraphine combined with the Mumu, and on top of that, for those of you that don't know, Seraphine's ult gains extra range for every champion it hits, and that is, champs on her side and champs on the enemy side. So, if Urgot's walking right towards you and Seraphine throws a ultimate at the Urgot, it's going to bounce even further and hit whoever he's chasing. This was a very big combo, Seraphine and Olaf, towards the earlier parts of the season, because Olaf runs at you, Seraphine throws her ult, you're going to be, or actually I believe it is a charm, is what her ultimate is, and you're going to die. So, I'm looking at this, UCM is very tanky, but their damage is kind of low. Lissandra's all burst damage. She's pretty much one target, kill that target. Ashe doesn't have as much damage as some other ADCs. She has a lot of CC though, and I guess Mundo, he does quite a bit of damage, but I'm just not seeing it here.
It definitely is going to be somewhat like a war of attrition into this because, I mean, Maokai and Urgot both are going to be really tanky. Urgot's going to be doing more damage, though. That's just like that's just what's going to happen. And he has a Purge ultimate, too, which means that if they hit a certain threshold and he hits them with it, that's an instant kill
Into
as long as into the meat grinder. You know, as long as Urgot doesn't die, like that's an instant kill. And then Dr. Mundo into Amumu, you know, I think Dr. Mundo beats Amumu in the 1v1,
Yes.
but Amumu definitely has the better team fight. So if they get into this 5v5 team fight, then Epsilon definitely has the advantage in it.
And Mundo, I mean, he's going to need to invade early, take advantage of his early damage against the Mundo. But one thing I will say is Amumu, with his W, I believe it is, does percentage HP damage. You do have a Maokai, you have a Mundo, and you have a Thresh on the side of UCM. If Mumu gets into the team fight and gets to crying, your HP is just going to melt away because he has that percentage HP damage and most likely will be building the Sunfire Aegis. So, I mean, Amumu actually was a very, very good pick into the comp of UCM. And, I mean, I'm looking here and I honestly think Epsilon did win the pick and ban phase.
I think they won the pick and ban phase too, but you know, who will know with this? We've been wrong within the last 2 games so far about who has the better team comp. So maybe UCM will surprise us.
Maybe they will, but we will be taking a short break before we get into the game. We have that spectator delay, so we'll see you in about 3 minutes.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
College, you don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
So what is your favorite Disney movie?
Favorite Disney movie?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Lion King. That's a good classic one.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic there. All right, let's go with, what is your go-to snack before a game?
Recently, here it's been Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Great choice there.
Oh, yeah.
When you were a kid, what did you wish to be when you grew up?
This is like completely different. Like a scientist, something like that. I just always liked science.
Just like science?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing now here in college?
Yeah, computer science.
Computer science.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get one more question for you there. What do you like to do on a rainy day?
On a rainy day? I would say play League. but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't like playing League.
I'm going in. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a golden mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion, oblivion. Fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it starve. Now you wanna see me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring will tell you what I saw.
And we are here in the second match of the series between UCM and Epsilon. And it looks like UCM is going to 5-man stack bot this time instead of top. As I do see that the Silver is going to be in that tri-bush. So maybe they can get a cheeky little, no, she sets a ward. So they're going to be spotted out immediately. And Epsilon's going to know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're about to walk into this bush right now, and all the plans on UCM will be going 2 wards in the bush, too. That's sad.
We all been there, though, in solo queue where you're walking up to a bush, and then they kind of back off. You're like, oh, I'm going to set my ward, and then beep, you both set your ward, and you're literally like, dude, we just wasted literal vision, literal information on the same bush.
That's why when I play support, I never ward, even if we're engaging. I never ward while engaging, because guess what? I'm going to want to put that down whenever I'm pushing the tower 2 minutes from now, whenever the jungler might be down.
You hear that guy? All I heard from you was, I never ward. Everything after that.
Which is kind of true as well. Let's be honest here. I'm pretty bad at warding. I'm good at the team fight.
You do see these two. They are going to be going at it immediately. Let's see. Epsilon is in UCM jungle. IP Slow taking big time damage. And Josh, this is going to be absolutely brutal for IP Slow. I don't think he can go back into the jungle and farm without recalling.
He definitely, I mean,
he's going to try it, but
looks like he's going to go to blue buff. I mean, his regen is better than everybody else's out there, but it's not that strong this early on. I almost thought that ward in river.
Mundo, he felled the bramble bush too.
Oh, that's what happened.
So he has to walk all the way back around. Unfortunate there because he's not getting a leash. He felled his bramble bush, so he's late there. That's going to be big. And I mean, jungle has been a strong point for UCM, so Epsilon, I mean, staggering that hurts.
I mean, that was a very nice play on Epsilon's part, too, because they knew from the ward of the Silver that there was a 5-man bot river. So it's like, okay, top lane, come with me in the bush. They have no wards there. We know that for a fact. So very nice on the side of Epsilon. We do see the threshold coming in hot.
Fernlander able to hit that. Silver pops the spell shield but doesn't get use out of it. VTech doing what he can. He might flash. There goes the flash from Fernlander plus ignite, and down goes Silver. First blood goes over to VTech.
Very nice first blood indeed. Luckily, you know, IP Slow didn't lose that from that jungle engage, so that extra gold will be going on to the ADC, which is what we want to see.
And there is a stun onto Flygills, but he's able to get away. Fernlander hits another Q there onto Seraphine and forces the flash. So unfortunate there for the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, Epsilon's bot lane not having, you know, the same luck that the jungler and top lane had. Top lane until level 3 just right now will be a huge fight going in.
Oh man, and as you can see there, Urgot getting that damage off. He does have 6 legs there, Josh, and what those legs do is they recharge, and once an opponent is in front of each individual leg, it'll shoot out an AoE burst that does, I'm not quite sure if it's percent damage, but I know it does a lot more damage than a normal auto. So once Urgot gets to spinning around you and gets you in position for those legs, you take big time damage.
I mean, that's why he becomes the raid boss, because he literally just keeps walking around you doing so much damage and healing himself in the process. Wait, does that Urgot actually have press the attack?
Yes, he is running press the attack.
Don't you normally go Conqueror?
Normally, but
because that's what makes you a raid boss, right? you get the stacks going and you keep hitting everybody from every angle, you get the healing, but instead, press the attack coming out, not a bad, you know, one, but it's not what I was expecting.
Looking I think Flygills may have taken a little bit of damage there and decided to back off. Amumu does use his Q, goes in on Flygills, and I do believe that Amumu could have won that if he would have stayed attacking. But he decides to back off.
I mean, uses the curse in the. I mean, he was waiting for the face check from the Lissandra, but I wonder if Flygills like instinctively just backed off, or if he saw his health tick down and say
just a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, we don't have him in the call right now, but I am wondering about that.
Yeah, I mean, he could also have on the thing where your screen flashes once you take a little bit of, like, if you take any damage, your screen flashes. I know that's a setting, so maybe he has that on. But I'm seeing here that Epsilon likes these poke comps, like these poke bottom lanes here. Seraphine Silver is another extreme poke comp.
Definitely an extreme poke comp. But you know who pokes even harder? Ashe. The Q, just so many
think
Qs.
so.
Really? I mean, obviously, Epsilon has 2 people doing it, which is harder. But Ashe, I feel like, outpokes all the ADCs.
One thing that I do know about this Silver versus Ashe is that spell shielding Ashe's volley is very, very easy. And as you do see him spell shielding Thresh's hook there also, which both of those are very telegraphed moves. So spell shielding those are very easy, and I mean it does give Silver a slight advantage if she needs it there in the lanes. I have played this matchup quite a bit, so I mean I will say that about the Civ.
I mean, I know you've gotten mad at me a lot when I play your as recon support and I try to tank damage for you, and you're like, I was about to spell shield for mana back, and I'm like, look man, I'm just trying to do my job over here. Stop playing Silver man.
As the game is kind of stagnant at the moment, UCM is up by about 200 gold, which doesn't make much of a difference. One thing I will say is that this lane for Fernlander can be kind of hard to get in position to use his Q correctly, as he has. But I say that as he has hit Qs on both Silver and Seraphine, resulting in a kill. But I mean, it can be a bit tough for him to get past the Seraphine ease.
You know what I just realized? If we take a look at the, look at a little scoreboard. Never mind, hold up, we got a fight going. No engage, though. Did see Lantern come in from Vernlander, but, no hook, no stun from Flygills means no fight's going to happen.
Lissandra might find herself in a bad position there. She decides to back off, but if Mundo comes here, Syndra's going to be stuck where she does not want to be. There comes the ult from Syndra. Flygills is not 6 yet, decides to flash over the wall. Bot lane for the side of Epsilon has priority also, and this is going to be 5 of them on this dragon.
Yes, that teleport coming in from Urgot, whatever chance of Flygills had of trying to maybe see if bot lane could help, just decide to flash away instead. No reason to fight that. Maokai's just going to keep pushing top lane with the teleport advantage at the moment, but First Drake will be going over to the side of Epsilon.
And I will say that Mundo specifically has done a very good job of catching up. He is ahead in levels on Amumu, so he did hit level 6 after that red buff here. He has been trying to power farm, and he has power farmed his way back into the match, so good to see there for Dominic. I mean, but he did just have to give up that first Ocean Drake.
Which would have been really useful on him, too.
Yeah, with the regen on his HP. But, I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Is better than going in there and just dying,
Yeah, definitely seems that's definitely the case. We will have our second Drake being Infernal, though, so we will either be having our Soul become a Air Drake or an Earth Drake.
Exactly. Hopefully it's not the Air Drake. I believe that is a very boring Drake there. Amumu would make great use of it. Seraphine also. Silver also, which, it would just stack onto her ultimate. But I personally do not think Air is a very good dragon.
It would be pretty good on, Dr. Mundo as well. Get that speed burst at ulting regen. Dr. Mundo would literally be charging at you with Turbo Chem Tank too. That'd be very scary to see. I don't think anybody could outrun that.
As you do see Urgot in the top jungle on the side of UCM. I wonder what he's doing. He just set a ward on the red, but red was taken quite a while ago, so doubt he gets much use out of that. Mundo is pathing towards top, so it looks like he wants those Krugs and may go after a gank on the Urgot afterwards.
Might get the gank in right now. Both teams, ADC and support, going back to lane. Top lane just farming it out. Mid lane just kind of throwing some abilities. Mage fight going on. Urgot, I think, attempted Rift Herald for a little bit, but decided to back away. Either that or he was just
cleared a ward.
Clear a ward, yeah.
You do see Amumu here. UCM does not know. Fernlander misses that, but Amumu is coming in. They got themselves into a bad situation. Fernlander does get stunned up. Out comes the Ashe arrow. Out comes the Thresh box, but it is not enough. He is going to go down there to Sir Spawn. So UCM did not have a ward there, and they paid the price. And this could be a dead Ashe also, as the Syndra is coming up. This is going to be very, very bad for VTech. In comes the stun. In comes the ultimate from Seraphine, and down goes that Ashe. But at the top, we weren't paying attention to that as we were at bottom, and Urgot goes down.
You know, Seraphine ult probably didn't need to be used. There's 4 people against 1 Ashe who doesn't have their ultimate up. A bit overkill on the side of, you know, Epsilon, but, you know, still a kill nonetheless. We'll be taking it. But yeah, top lane will be winning their engage against the Urgot. And, you know, kind of want to stomp that Urgot just like the Darius as soon as possible so he doesn't become strong late game.
UCM isn't going to be able to pick up that Rift too, unless Syndra has anything to say about it. She does come in. Mundo is actually kind of low. I believe if Syndra was able to hit her full combo on him, she may have been able to go ahead and finish off that kill, but it does look like UCM is going to get Shelly here. So hats off to them. They do pick up a kill up top in the Rift.
So I could possibly expect IP Slow to take this to top lane to get this first tower. There's only 3 ticks left on the turret. Barely 3 ticks left. That would be an easy first tower gold going over to UCM, or they, you know, take it somewhere else, maybe see if they can get a pick to help one of the lanes that are doing less damage to it.
Mumu is on his blue. He could be passing towards top right after that. Maokai is fairly far pushed up. Mundo doing what he can here, has caught up, is 70 farm to his counterpart's 57, so he is definitely caught up. He's ahead in level and things like that. So unfortunate for Epsilon that they didn't or weren't able to capitalize on that early game mishap that they put UCM into, but hats off to Dominic for playing well.
UCM right now has wards all across the map. They should be spotting any sort of gank potential except for the top river. There's no, or the mid, sorry, I meant the mid river bushes. There's no wards in there, so we could see a Mumu possibly coming in. However, combo attack.
Fernlander hits another hook onto the silver, knocks him into the box, ticking away with the ignite. Is he going to be able to survive? He does survive with the potions just barely, and that is so unfortunate for UCM. They spent everything there to try to get that, and he survives with what had to be less than 10 HP.
I think UCM could have gotten the kill, but I think Thresh was a little bit too scared of stealing it, because Ignite was ticking, and I believe he was in auto range. I could be wrong about that, but it just looked like he could have gotten one more auto off to do it, but was trying to give it over to the Ashe.
See, that's why you don't be nice as support. You take every kill you can get. You should be 15-0 by the end of the match. As Mumu flashes in but gets knocked back by Fernlander, and Fernlander sacrifices himself to save his ADC, and that is what you call a friend.
You know, proper support role, you know. You're the least worthy, or not worthy, but least important person of the team. You want to keep your ADC alive. You want to keep your mid lane jungle top alive, you know. So a very nice move by Fernlander. But blue team will be taking the Infernal Drake, and it looks like we have an Air Drake or Cloud Drake. So we will be seeing the red and blue buffs getting a little bit of a speed radius if you go around them. And whenever, if Soul does come up, whenever somebody ults, they will be getting a 40% movement speed?
I think that's a little. I don't think it's 40, but hold that thought as Fernlander does land a hook on a Mumu. Mumu is able to escape. I believe it's something like 10 to 12% movement speed buff.
Man, it's been a while since I've seen Cloud Drake. I'm not going to lie.
But it is, I mean, it's the weakest of them, but can still be decent on certain champs. And I will say that this game, Mundo has not had much of an impact. He's 0-1. Usually we see Dominic with the ganks coming around everywhere, but he's been absolutely power farming this game.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever you have a start like that, you can't really dominate without power farming. So I kind of understand. And to be honest, this is a pretty hard comp for Dr. Mundo to do much of anything too.
Very, very pokey, has disengaged, is able to escape. Yeah, but he is doing what he can, getting as tanky as he can, as quickly as he can, and there he is picking up that blue burst. Thresh is in the pit clearing out wards, and this game is at a bit of a standstill as the gold is extremely even. This could be 8-bit Hypocrite going down, but Urgot misses his ultimate. There goes the spell shield coming from the silver on the Maokai ultimate, and they used a lot to try to get that. That was 2 ultimates.
This silver is hitting spell shield after spell shield. I'm not saying, like, you know, it's the hardest, move to hit. You just have to get hit with an ability. But I mean, like, he's not really missing it. He's really timing it very well.
As they are triple attacking 8-Bit Hypocrite, and he's just getting ganged up on under his own tower, and he does go down. One thing I will say, Josh, is that generally the build that you see on Silver these days is not auto attack focused. Right? As Mumu hits a 3-man ultimate, this could be Mundo going down. That is. And Mumu might just be able to kill all 3 by himself. So much damage coming out from him. That red buff, the crying. Can he hit the Q on Ash? Ash has to ult to get away from him. He's so tanky, though. He's still up. And he does finally go down. But Urgot coming in, moving very, very quickly. And there is the Thresh Lantern to save the Ash. And Syndra's not paying attention. Syndra can walk over and get this kill. She's not paying attention. She's still mid.
Ooh.
Where is the communication?
Thresh had to flash over the Dragon Pit. There's a little bit of a mishap with the little explosion plant, and he went to the Dragon Pit. Urgot is still chasing Furlander down.
I don't blame him. Syndra was not paying attention. Maybe they just weren't communicating it with her, but she could have pancaked him and picked up 2 kills there.
I mean, first of all, missed ultimate from Seraphine, didn't hit nothing. And Thresh was able to escape the Urgot and the Syndra, jungle chase.
I mean, a bit of a wild chase there, but Thresh does make it out. They both made it out, I believe. IPSO activates his ultimate, and he's running so fast with that Turbo Kim Tank also, but Civ is able to escape that. But before that, Josh, I was talking about the Silver build. Silver generally goes a build that focuses on the damage on her Q. I believe is Dustblade into what is Shereldo's Grudge and items like that. But this one, he's going into an auto attack build.
So like a pseudo assassin build.
She just throws Qs, and that's pretty much all she does.
I mean, I'm not. Sivir is definitely one of my weakest ADCs that I play, so I don't know too much about her building kit. But I will say I don't really see Gale Force on Sivers too often, so that's definitely an interesting one to go with. However, it looks like there's going to be a fight at the Rift Herald.
This Amumu is coming in big, is able to hit the stun onto 8-Bit Hypocrite, backs out. Lysandra going in. She does get a 3-man snare. Ash Arrow coming in, hitting the Syndra. Syndra stunned for forever. Nobody focuses her, though. Hot Egro does go down. This Mundo is chasing the heck out of this Silver, but that is a 1-for-1 there. Actually, a 1-for-0. UCM lost nobody.
UCM lost nobody, but, like, Seraphine survived way too long. Literally, just everybody's kind of moving around. Seraphine was top by herself. Oh, man.
Big time stun there coming from Amumu onto VTech. Amumu, or VTech, excuse me, going off, doing what he can. Amumu made a big mistake there, trying to give the kill over, leaves his 2 teammates to die to the Ash, and he even goes down. Oh, my goodness. That was such a mishap.
It's such a mishap. I mean, he used his flash too, so this Moon was going to be dead. He's going to be trying to take down VTech, is able to get it off. I think he smited him to death, but Flygills goes and secures the kill.
That was a little bit of greed, as VTech did not have to go melee mode onto the Amumu. He does pay the price there, and they do give over that kill, but Amumu made the biggest mistake ever. He tried to give the kill over, and instead of kill securing it, he walks away, and his 2 teammates pay the price for that one.
I mean, what can you do? You think you're a little bit stronger than you plan to be, and that's what happens to you. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to UCM with the Baron fight. They felt very confident, and all of a sudden, Ezreal just somehow steals it. I will say, though, Drake, they just took the Air Drake, and I did some research while a couple fights were going on, and it's, it's like 8% to your cooldown reduction on your ultimate, but if you get Soul Drake for Cloud, you get increased to 60% movement speed for 6 seconds of casting your ultimate ability.
All right, so 60% movement speed, that's almost as much as the Turbo Kim Tank there. So each team, especially Silver, I feel like that is a huge boost to her ultimate. So if she ends up getting that, just watch out. She's going to be moving like Sonic out here. But
does Silver, does it only go to her, or does it go to her teammates?
It'll only go to her.
Okay.
One thing I do want to say, too, as we do have a slight fight here, Urgot doing massive damage to 8-Bit Hypocrite. 8-Bit Hypocrite able to heal up a bit, almost to 50% HP, and does decide to run. Here comes Mundo, activating his ultimate in turbo. There comes the Ash Arrow from downtown, and he's stunned for days. Overlord Duck 2 goes down.
I mean, once, I was like, Maokai and Urgot, Urgot's going to win. And then
no.
Dr. Mundo comes, oh, the stun.
Stun onto a Mumu. Not quite the target they want, but they do get the kill regardless. Five Gills is on a killing spree, 3-0.
What's going on with Epsilon? They were doing so well. They had such great team coordination, and after that one fight of a Mumu just kind of leaving his teammates out in the dust, like UCM's just getting these easy picks.
Here's what I think they want to do. They want to get behind so that they can make the hero clutch plays and go ahead and take that match. But one thing I do want to say also is I don't know if you ever heard of pay to win skins, right? As Fernlander hits another Q onto Syndra, and this Syndra is surely going to go down. Fernlander is going to take that kill. Flygill's forced to flash out as he was under the tower. He hits another one. Fernlander with the big-time hooks there. There was no follow-up on that one, but man, these hooks are coming out fast and furious.
Fast and Furious, we do see, you know, both tower engages. Rift Herald does get a charge onto the top tier 2 turret, but Urgot's there to stop the advance, so no more charges coming in from the Rift Heralds in this match.
I will say this Ash skin that he's using, I feel like it's a pay-to-win skin. There's just so many animations going on with this skin that you're just like, what is going on when she's hitting you? I think it's pretty broken and they need to take a look at it, but, you know, what do I know?
What skin is it?
The Ash skin. I'm
Well,
pretty sure
like
it's High Noon Ash.
High Noon Ash.
All
okay.
the High Noon skins actually have crazy animations that sometimes can get a bit overwhelming, I feel like.
I mean, I do like the sound effects that the High Noon one can, like when Jin ults, you get a little saloon. About to go for a 1v1 big iron on the hip draw fight with Lucian, but you know, I don't actually know too many of the animations for the High Noon, especially on the Ash, so we'll see
Mumu
if
does hit the
that
snare
later.
there. Fernlander walking up is snared. A Mumu crying all over him. Can Fernlander make it out of this? Ash does pop up, and Fernlander is forced to flash. 8-bit Hypocrite coming in. The Mumu hits another stun on Fernlander, but he has no follow-up here. Can his teammates help him out? Hot E-Girl coming in, doing what she can. There goes the Ash arrow onto the Syndra. Syndra still stunned. Big time damage coming out from the Urgot. 8-bit Hypocrite is in between 4 players. He is forced to flash, but the fade away from Syndra is able to finish that off, and here comes Mundo. He takes massive damage walking into 4, and this poke comp is just going off. Flygills went into 5 members. He did not want to be there. He is stuck in there with them, not the other way around, and that will be 2 kills going over to the side of Epsilon.
What did I just witness, Trey? Like, I saw a Mumu go into a 1v3 by himself. His team didn't care to join in. Mumu was doing some damage to it, so UCM kept on fighting, and then they kept on just using like ability after ability to try and stop him, which allowed Epsilon to get the rest of the team in. UCM was missing 2 of the members, so it's like, okay, maybe we lose a player, we should back off. No, UCM kept on going in, and once they finally decide to back away, Dr. Mundo comes in and gets melted for half of his HP instantly, which is insane for Dr. Mundo. He leaves the fight, and then Flygills just comes out of left field, goes into a 1v4 in the bush, and just dies instantly as well. So that was a kangaroo court right there.
And it does result in a Baron for the side of Epsilon, and it results in them being up in gold also. So bit of a mistake there from UCM, but hopefully they can remedy that. This Amumu is just, he is fearless as he's going into whatever, doing whatever, knowing that he can go ahead and put out that AoE damage. And like I said, Josh, on these tanks, he's going to be doing damage to them because it is percent HP damage. So the more HP that they get, the more damage he's going to do. And Sivir finds herself in a terrible position. She's forced to flash away. Spell shields the Ash arrow, and there is a 4-man Seraphine ult. That is crazy. In comes the Urgot trying to do raid boss things. Amumu crying his way into their team, but there's no follow-up. Where is the teammate Sivir coming back in, and she could go ahead and pick up 3 kills here. She's trying to. Mundo chasing her down. There comes the Q. Sivir doing what she can. Seraphine is snared up, but there's no follow-up. His team isn't there, and this could be 8-bit Hypocrite going down. Where is the team? And that is him going down. Surf Spine doing what he can, going back in, and UCM is very low. That Q hits Mundo, but is not able to finish him off.
Very strange that UCM was able to get the kill on the person, you know, hardest to kill, and all the squishies survived. You know, they got the Urgot, they got the boss raid down, and then whenever it came to the Seraphine, who has probably like 1,200 HP, the Sivir with probably 1,700, or even a little bit less than that, you know, just just can't. There's no follow-up. There's a little bit of a split focus going on too, which didn't help in that case.
I will say that, I mean, looking at the comp from Epsilon, it's tough to get to the back line. You have an Urgot and a Mumu in your way. And I mean, I'm looking at UCM side. What engage do they have outside of Fly Gills going in and kamikazing in the Ash Arrow, which you have to weave through Urgot and an Amumu?
I mean, it's really hard, especially, and like I said, with this top lane difference. And I'm not saying like 8-Bit Hypocrite's playing bad or nothing. It's just that Urgot will be winning against a Maokai any day of the week. He's not even going Conqueror to get that lifesteal. Whenever we see the Maokai fight Urgot, it's Maokai loses half his HP, Urgot loses like maybe a fifth of his, and it's not even close.
But I mean, Epsilon got the third Drake. They haven't lost anything else other than that third Drake and a few kills, which is, I mean, can be a good thing for them because Epsilon also had the Baron buff, which they didn't get much use out of, as Fernlander throws that Q out and just misses that. This Amumu is coming in, posturing up again. He does have his ultimate. All ultimates are up, so this next team fight could be pretty big.
Yeah, no objectives up on the board right now, though, so it's most likely just going to be a couple minion pushes, you know, back and forth. Maybe we see a pick here or there. It might lead into a team fight, but it might be a little bit stagnant for a little bit.
I'm actually quite surprised that the goal difference is only at right above 1K. I mean, Epsilon is playing very well here as Mumu does activate that, and Urgot has no choice but to go in. His teammate is here. There comes the Amumu. Oh, Urgot just putting in the damage. That percent HP damage coming out from Amumu is big, but in the end, these two do go down. That is so unfortunate. That looks like a duo queue play for me and you, Josh.
I mean, I saw, you know, the engage, and I knew Amumu was around that corner, and that once they fought the Urgot, you know, would be coming out. But Ibislo Maokai was actually doing some pretty good damage. I mean, it helps with Dr. Mundo's like Sunflower Cape W in that
Sunflower.
fight. Sunflower. Oops.
Sunfire.
But if Ibislo maybe would have stayed in that fight a little bit earlier, maybe he wouldn't have had to waste his flash. But either way, he saw that he needed to, one, save 8-Bit Hypocrite, and two, that they could win this 2v2 engage. So, used the flash anyways, and got secured the kills for them, which was very nice, because Amumu and Urgot are kind of popping off.
You know, Josh, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and buy that High Noon Ash skin and go ahead and buy some of the chromas for it, because I'm looking at it, and that thing is amazing. Everything down to the walk animation is awesome. But with that being said, I feel like this game is a bit of a clown fiesta. It is extremely even at this moment and can go any way. VTech and Mundo there just chilling in the bush, trying to get a bush stack, but I mean, this could be Urgot going down once more. Urgot is caught out again, and this could be him going down. Surely this is him going down. He cannot be a raid boss against four players there.
He can with Conqueror, not with the rest of the attack. Dr. Mundo will just be tanking tower, though, until his mini wave comes in. We will be seeing a Mumu and Seraphine, though, moving in from the bot jungle.
And you see those animations? That's what I'm talking about. They're just so flashy. It's just like, man, it's kind of overwhelming. But that is a tower going over to UCM, so they're putting in the work. They are up and go now by about 400. Granted, that's not too much, but they have kind of stabilized themselves.
Listen, Trey, you don't need to spend another $13 on a League skin. You got so many League skins already.
I have so many League skins. I've been playing League for 10 years. I've been playing since right after it came out of its beta, so I do have quite a bit of League skins.
How many times do you play Ash? I don't see you play Ash at all. You don't need to spend our $15 on the game.
I just want the skin. You can never have too many skins, guys, so spend all your money on skin. No, but this game can go either way here. This is extremely even, and I mean, it's on a tilt here.
Ooh, looks like Thresh says loses back animation. Is going to be wasting a couple more seconds to get back. I mean, but this Baron is currently up right now, and they saw that Dr. Mundo went back and that Thresh was trying to back, so they're just going to go for it.
This is an extremely good call from the side of Epsilon. They did see the recalls, and they're going to melt his Baron down, and nothing UCM can do about it. They are going to go ahead and posture up for the Dragon. Granted, it is an Air Drake. I mean, it is the weakest, but Baron for an Air Drake, hey.
I think they want the Drake, too.
Oh, they definitely want it, but
nah, they're going down. They don't care about the Baron. They're going straight down, seeing if they can try to contest this.
All right, we shall see how this call makes it, because they're still going to have a fight for it. Epsilon is here, and the Amumu's doing what he can. Not who he wanted. And there you see it, the Seraphine ult bouncing off of the Amumu. Amumu goes in, does hit 2 with his snare. You see him forced to run out. They are forced to run, and they do all make it out. So, I mean, they fought hard for it, and just for the air Drake, they fought that hard.
Mumu doesn't want to give up on this attack, though. It's going to be chasing IP slow even further back. Because of that, though, and because everybody was so damaged, they will be taking UCM's bot jungle.
Josh, look at the head on this Amumu skin. How does he even walk with a head that big? But nonetheless, he is posturing up and is ready to put in this work here. Epsilon sieging with the Baron buff, and it looks like they should at least be able to take some of the HP off of this tower.
Did you see how many musical notes hit that tower? It is just a
So they are sieging, protecting this cannon minion. That is pretty meta with the Baron out. Not really much you can do. The range on the Baron buffed cannon, as you do see all those notes coming out. Seraphine, just with everybody theirs, has so much range and so much damage on those autos, and this is going to be an inhibitor going down on the side of UCM. Nothing they can do with that Baron buff.
I mean, they were able to get the inhibitor. They're going to be pushing the top lane, trying to get this last lane turret out of the way. But, yeah, UCM can't really do much at the moment. They have to defend. I mean, they were barely able to take the air Drake, so it's going to be hard to face them in a 5v5 with that Baron buff.
I will say that Seraphine was out of position there. I do think the Ashe arrow should have came out. I think they could have picked up that Seraphine kill, as they did have 4 members there. But hindsight's always 20/20, and with that Baron buff, this has put Epsilon up 2k gold. So just with that, they've gone up 2k.
2k at 30 minutes, 10 kills to 14, though. That's not, a huge difference. I mean, it's kind of weird that UCM has 4 kills over Epsilon, and they're down 2k, but I mean, I actually don't know.
Those dragons
there's only
are a
one
big part of that.
But that's just one dragon.
And then they did just get the inhibitor and the tower there. I mean, they do, and they also have 7 towers to 5, so that makes a difference. Also, we don't know how many plates that Epsilon got, so that could make the difference there also.
I mean, taking a quick look at the CS2, and besides the jungle, except for IP slow, everybody in UCM is losing in the jungle fight, or not jungle fight, CS fight right now. So I guess that does make sense why the goal difference is 2k, while UCM has a 4-kill lead.
I'm looking at this Amumu just be fearless, and honestly, it's working, because it's almost a detriment if Fernlander lands his ult or lands his Q onto the Amumu. Excuse me. Pulling Amumu into your team is never a good idea, because that ultimate is AoE, and one big ultimate from the Amumu can end this game. This game is actually extremely. It's on the tilt here, as Epsilon is sieging in all sides now. Overlord forced to run here. Maokai chasing him down, not able to get that. Amumu misses the Q, and that could have been a dead Lissandra had he hit that. So the siege is coming out very, very nicely from the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, and 8-Bit Hypocrite cannot stall on this Urgot. I already, I've talked so many times so far how much better Urgot scales into this Maokai, and 3-1, that's going to be a dead 8-Bit Hypocrite.
Oh no, as in bot 2, Ashe, they were trying to engage on that 2v3, but Ashe missed her ultimate, resulting in them not being able to get that. But IP Slow chasing after this Mundo, doing so much damage, is able to take him out. Flygale is doing what he can, is able to pick up that shutdown on the Syndra, and Amumu also goes down. So that is a 3-for-2 there on the side of UCM.
What's with the Mumu going in for the last-ditch effort to kill, and he just like burst them down that last couple of HP. That's the 3rd time I've seen him do that to VTech.
And Hot E-Girl and the ADC here are able to take another tower, and that will be UCM's last inhibitor tower going down, and half of their inhibitor HP. And this, whoa, the silver is absolutely going off. This Gale Force flash with the Sherelda's Grudge is doing so much damage. Josh, I think the Sherelda's Grudge item is really, really good.
The what? I'm sorry?
The Sherelda's Grudge item. If you don't know what that is,
I mean, I don't see that item too often.
It's an item that's usually silver in Ezreal build. It slows when you hit a spell. So like if Ezreal hits his Q, it slows.
Oh, so
if
it's
Silver
like
hits her Q,
it's
slows.
like the ADC version of the Mage, the Shard.
The Rylai's.
Rylai's, yeah. Okay, Rylai's Crystal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot that they added that type of item for an ADC. Because I mean, I'm used to like, oh, slow. ADC? Oh, Stormrazor.
Ice Gauntlet. Yep.
Oh, Ice Gauntlet. No,
Last season.
I was thinking of Stormrazor, but you know, it's still the same.
Yeah, Silver's. I mean, Epsilon's doing well. UCM. This should be Soul going over to the side of Epsilon. Nobody in UCM is in position as all 3 lanes have super minions pushing down on them. So UCM is in a tough spot at the moment.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
having
no.
a harder time seeing how UCM can win this fight right now.
Fernlander gets caught and is forced to flash there. That's a big flash coming out from him, though. He is able to get away.
I mean, well, what is their win comp right now for UCM trade? Because, I mean, Maokai can't stall against the Urgot. Urgot and Amumu are just extremely tanky that it's very easy for UCM just to split that focus. And while that split focus is happening, Syndra and Sivir just do too much damage.
And this looks to be at least a third Baron that may go over to Epsilon. Mundo might be able to make the hero play. Fernlander might be able to make the hero play. So we shall see. But Urgot is trying to block what he can. Here comes the Ash Arrow. That was spell shielded by Silver. And blue team is able to finish that off. Amumu goes in. He might find himself in a bad position. There goes the stun coming out of Amumu, but he pulls him in. Seraphine's ult cannot reach, and Fernlander goes down. That just could be the game there, Josh, as all 3 lanes have super minions pushing. And, I mean, the mid inhibitor is up, but it looks like they do want to take that. Urgot goes in on his own and is still alive. He does eventually go down, but he might have just thrown, I mean, not necessarily thrown, but made this game go a lot longer than it needed to be.
A lot longer? I mean, Amumu's still alive, and they got the Baron buff, so, like, they got to pull something out their butt right now if they want to make this game go longer.
And there comes that Sivir Q just doing damage to VTech. UCM trying to stave them off. 8-Bit Hypocrite goes in. I'm not sure he wanted to do that. Flygills goes in, gets a great snare, great ultimate, great Q, but the healing and the damage coming out from the side of Epsilon is just too much, and that is most definitely going to be game going over to the side of
Hold on
Epsilon.
a second. Thresh is going to be coming in hot, trying to get this Amumu. Amumu has
Surely
the Baron
these
buff,
minions are going to be able to finish this off.
Fernlander knows what he has to do. Can he pull it
He
up,
can't catch
though?
him up. And it is the Winions, and that will be Epsilon taking the series. And that puts UCM at 4-1, Josh.
Yes, you know, early in the match we said 3. They've won 3 matches, and then they got a forfeit 1, so that's 4 wins. But sadly, this is their first loss of the season, Trey.
Yeah, I find it quite funny that Winions are the reason that they lost their very first series of the tournament here. But it was a good game. It was a good series. UCM in the end there just could not pull it out. And we did say that we favored the side of Epsilon's comp a lot more. UCM just did not have the damage. And I kind of said that at the beginning. I just did not see the damage, and it paid off there.
It definitely did. I mean, Urgot becomes the raid boss. He, you know, it's extremely hard to kill, and he's also does a lot of major damage, especially since he did press the attack on this one. So after he gets the 3 ability hits, he's going to get more damage on his attacks. But I mean, this Amumu, extremely hard to kill, and he just provided so much damage with the curse and so much CC with his Q and ultimate that it just was too much for UCM to break through.
And UCM had a very hard time getting to the back line. They cannot get on Seraphine. They cannot get on Sivir. They had no engagement for those two. They tried to walk past Urgot and Amumu, but Amumu you're not going to walk past that. And that does result in UCM losing the series. But in the meantime, we are going to take a short break before we get into the postgame.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
Hello and welcome back to the post-game show. Josh, unfortunately, UCM did get their first loss here in this tournament.
Yeah, that's really sad to see. They were the first one was extremely close. So, just one short bad play from UCM was all that it took for that Baron play for the enemy team to bring it back. Second game, I think they just lost during the picking phase. It's sad to see, but it does happen in League of Legends quite a lot.
Especially on that Baron. Like we said, there is a meme. Baron throws. The Ezra was able to take it with the Qs, but I mean, the Q was hitting like a Cho'Gath ultimate. I will say, Flygills in that first game got absolutely melted by a Q to the point where I was like, holy cow, what is going on here?
He didn't have much pressure at the beginning, too. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, Jin Pantheon, slapping. Yep. He has had no way to show himself as being, like, a participant in the battle. But literally, as soon as he got the Baron, then all of a sudden he started getting kills, and then all of a sudden he got like 700, 400 bounties, and then he became unstoppable.
Yeah, and we did see, we saw the Hecarim and Mundo, which UCM has not lost on those two champions there, but this time it just did not work out. We did say at the beginning of pick and ban phase for the game 2 that we thought that Epsilon had the better composition, and it really just showed there. UCM was not able to get to the Seraphine and to the Silver. They didn't have the engage without the Hecarim. Generally, that's where the Hecarim would come in and would ult into the back line, but without them having that, they had no way to get back there. Flygills went back. He was kamikaze. He was going to die, most likely, as we saw a couple times there. And that just ended up with UCM not being able to take the win here.
Yeah, unable to take the win. But we still have to pick a player of the game, Trey, And I believe our Culver's player of the game this time around is Flygills. Flygills has definitely improved a lot from last season. We've been seeing the Lux and Lysandra plays from him. And this one in particular, I'm going to be going to the first match because Flygills was able to continue pushing his lane forward and then leaving his lane to go help the top with Darius, because Maokai was going to be losing against Darius against a 1v1 any day of the week, because Darius is just made for the 1v1s. But, with no pressure coming in from mid lane because he was just pushing up his minions, able to stop Darius from ever getting that gold lead, that, that big top lane push. In the second game, Urgot started getting the earlier kills and whatnot, and you could see how much damage he was doing late game. So, just a lot more map awareness and map control coming in from Flygills in that first match.
Urgot only had one kill last match. He was like 1-7. He didn't play too well, but
he didn't die a lot from the mid laner.
Yeah, nonetheless, Flygills was very consistent. He has been consistent throughout the entirety of this tournament here. These two games, he was still consistent, was doing what he could to make sure his team win, was not a detriment, and he played quite well here. Unfortunately, it did not work out for UCM. They struggled to get to the back line, like we said. They just didn't have the damage to puncture through, so they did end up losing this. But 4-1, hey, not bad. They're going to come back next week, hopefully make that 5-1, and we'll see.
Yeah, you see, you got to learn from your mistakes. Maybe, after this, they take a look at what the champions that they play and maybe to see, like, okay, what's a better, composition pick in this? Because we have our champions that we're good at, but, what are the better team comps that could really go in for nice team attacks? Because I think that's what we were missing this time around for at least the second game, which is, engage.
Yeah, outside of the Hecarim, they didn't have much engage. Mundo can throw cleavers, but he doesn't have a long-range Hecarim ult from like I-70.
That can stop everybody within the range of the ult. A cleaver just hits one person.
Yeah. But, hey, guys, if you want to join the UCM Esports teams, the application is on our social media sites. Josh? Hit him with the spiel.
Okay, if you're an incoming UCM player, or you're already at UCM and you want to play on our fall esports team, you got to turn in this application by April 30th at midnight. If you're a fan of Overwatch, Rocket League, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rainbow Six Siege, or NBA 2K, these are the perfect times to get a part of a competitive team and maybe help your college career grow. And if you want to feel really spicy, bring in a new game, you can always see if that might be a possibility. So if you're interested, remember April 30th by midnight.
April 30th by midnight. So hope to see a lot of you guys signing up for that. Hey, the more the merrier. Video games is for everybody. But with that being said, Josh, we are going to be ending the stream here. We thank you guys for watching. We hope UCM does a bit better next week. But in the meantime, we will be seeing you guys later.
Peace.
I'm going out.